he sent me a message and said he's not gonna be able to. He had something emergency.
Okay, we are live.
All right. Call the meeting to order. 6:06. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you mind doing
Roll call.
roll call? Crystal's not here.
Blasi,
Here?
Derlin, Fitzgerald,
Here.
Hannah,
Here.
Jordan,
Order.
Am I gonna,
Here.
am I gonna do all three?
King, McCusker,
And personnel?
Nolan,
I can
Here.
if you want to.
Don't matter.
Stockdale?
I can do them. It's not a big deal.
Better connection. Okay.
Okay?
we have 6 present, 3 absent.
Can I get a approval of the minutes from the previous meeting, which was held on September 20th? Unless anyone has any questions.
So,
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carried. Student reports, please.
Hi, I'm Peyton Cuddy, a senior class president, student government president, and an athlete in high school. I will be doing the student board report tonight. Tonight, I would like to start with the homecoming events that happened on the weekend of Friday, October the 7th. On Friday, the school had a bonfire in the parking lot. Students came and enjoyed the fire, snacks, and listened and danced to some of the homecoming playlist. Then on Saturday the 8th, the sporting events were held in the morning. There was an alumni 5K at 10 a.m. Then the girls' soccer team played at 11 a.m. and beat CMBT 15-0. After the girls' game, Brianna Bonalari announced the homecoming court, all seniors who participated in a fall sport, and all senior band and chorus members. Afterwards, the boys' soccer team played at 1 p.m. and beat Williamson 4-2. At 7 p.m., the homecoming dance started where over 200 students came to the school and enjoyed the music, refreshments, and photo area. Now on to the other sporting events. Again, I'll just be highlighting the games that happened in the most previous week. For the junior high fall sports teams, the junior high boys cross country team started their season 1-1 and then won 8 straight meets in a row to finish the regular season 9-1. They beat Troy and Wellsboro on Tuesday the 11th, and on Saturday the 15th, the boys finished 3rd overall at the Invitational to complete their season. Also at this Invitational, Isaiah Botsford placed 8th individually, bringing home a trophy. The junior high girls beat Troy and lost to Wellsboro on Tuesday the 11th. On Saturday the 15th at the Invitational, Zoe Reese placed 8th and Paige Jordan placed 9th individually, both bringing home trophies. Both junior high cross-country teams have completed their season. Congratulations to the teams on a great season. Now for the junior high softball team. The team completed their season with a 7-2 record. Unfortunately, their last game was canceled. The team did a great job this season with only losing to Montgomery. Also, Bailey Smith received Athlete of the Week. Congratulations to the team on a great season. Now on to varsity fall sports. The varsity golf team completed their season on September 20th. Over the course of the season, they improved their team score by over 30 strokes. They completed their season with a banquet on Tuesday, October 4th. Michaela Bedford was the MVP of the team, leading 57 and the only birdie. She was also the first athlete of the week. Congratulations to the team on a great season. Now on to the varsity boys cross country team. They lost to both teams on Tuesday the 11th. Unfortunately, at that meet, they had both of their top runners out. Then on Saturday the 15th at the Invitational, the boys placed 9th, and Tucker Blasi led the varsity boys, placing 38th. The varsity girls cross-country team beat Wellsboro and lost to Troy on Tuesday the 11th, and Sam Norton was named Athlete of the Week for a 3rd place finish from the previous week. On Saturday the 15th, the girls team was incomplete at the Invitational, but Libby Moore led the girls in 21st place. Both teams are now preparing for districts. Now the varsity boys soccer team, they beat Millville on Monday the 11th at home 6-1. During this game, Riley King scored his 50th goal. Riley also received Athlete of the Week from the previous week. They beat Towanda on Saturday the 15th away 9-0. Last night on the 17th, the boys won against Muncie home 5-0. Tonight they play Benton away. The boys' current record is 12-3, and the boys have officially made it into the playoffs this year. Now the varsity girls soccer team, they lost to Benton on Tuesday the 11th away 5-1. They also lost to South Williamsport on Wednesday the 12th at home 7-0. They then played Wyalusing on Friday the 14th home and lost 2-1. Their current record for the season is 5-2. Events coming up at the school right now. The sophomore class is in the process of planning a Halloween dance. The dance will be held in the cafeteria on Saturday, October 29th, 7 to 10 p.m. This dance is open to all grades and they will be collecting money at the door. That is all I have for you tonight.
Thank you. That was a lot.
Lots of fun.
Dr. Zawadi?
Just one thing this evening, our elementary life skills classroom was just invited to something called an Exceptional Athletes Day at the Wyalusing School District. This is a little bit different than the Special Olympic events that are typically held in the spring. This is something that will be happening in November, and it's something that's relatively new. I think they started working on it last year, Wyalusing School District, but I'm really excited to get the kids out to check that out, and it's especially exciting that we're able to start having these events again, whether, our students that have the most medical needs. They haven't been able to do a lot of those things in a number of years, so it's really exciting, and it should be a fun event, but that'll be happening on November 1st, so I'll let you know how that turns out.
Awesome.
I just want to give a shout out to Riley King for getting his 50th goal last week. He scored some since then, so he's going to be on the banner with 50 plus goals, which is pretty exciting. And
Awesome. Great
job to him. I also would like to remind parents, if they're listening, that Makeup Picture Day is Thursday this week from 9:30 to 12:30. And that's all.
That's it. Thank you. Ms. Kaler?
Just wanted to highlight a few events we've had. I know we've both been super busy at the high school and elementary. Debbie Geist and her 6th grade team put together EMC Days, which we're hoping to be an annual event. This was basically a 2-day event out at the Eagles Mirror Conservancy, where our 6th graders actually led instruction for students K to 5. So a lot of positive feedback, a ton of work on Ms. Geist's part, so just a huge thank you to her and the students. Other events we've had, book fair. I got an email from Scholastic that said we had the most successful book fair that PTO's ever had here, so I thought that was great. Open house, Grandparents' Day, walkathon. So our PTO, our parents, our students, our teachers have been super busy, but we've had a lot of fun, and I just wanted to thank everyone for all the hard work that goes into those events.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, open house was great. There was a lot going on.
We got a lot of positive feedback for having them on the same night,
Yeah.
which was a first.
Yeah.
That's been done.
It's a great idea. Mr. McMahon?
There's a couple things. Update on the roof, that is pretty much done with the exception of the curb flashing, which holds the membrane down on the curb all the way around. It is attached right now, but that's the backup to that, and it locks it in. They're waiting for some additional of that to be chipped in yet. They're not gonna come back until, I don't have a date they're gonna do that. But they didn't wanna come back, they wanna come back with it all and get it all done. And then they have some grounds repair that they have to do, from the machine in the yard, so we'll take care of that. You may have noticed at O'Connor Tree Service cut down the 4 pine trees that were out here off the corner of the boys' locker room, because that's kind of the footprint of the addition, plus those trees had that fungus issue going on, disease. And they were going to probably be long for the living anyway, so they're now removed.
Deceased.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. That it? Thanks. Mr. Sullivan?
Yeah, and I just echo what
Lynn said about Riley. It's a great accomplishment for him, and our boys are doing tremendous this year. It's been fun to watch them. You know, learn our kids, and it's been a great year. So hopefully we can keep that rolling tonight and next week in our playoff game, whenever that may be. I'll let everybody know on Sunday for sure, because Saturday is the last day technically that you can have a game count towards your district, seating, if you will. Thursday next week as well is our cross-country districts that will be held at Bloomsburg University. That is upper campus. If they're familiar, that's where the NEPA, for anyone who's interested, is where the NEPA Invitational was this year, so same place. So we will have a good representation of our school there, as well as a couple other things. We were able to go back to Loyalsock Township High School for our leadership conference. It's kind of been hit or miss, and I know they're still limiting the amount of kids we can bring, due to COVID and all that, but it was good to, it was actually kind of cool. Craig Hillier was the speaker. He was actually there when I went to the first leadership, which was actually pretty cool to hear him speak, and hopefully a lot of our kids took a lot from that day. And I thought it was cool, and talking to them, they enjoyed it and learned a lot. So I think that's about it for me.
Awesome. When, what time's the meet start on the 27th?
The cross country,
Yeah.
I believe 9 o'clock. Now they stagger them. I'd have to look off the top of my head, but like the girls go at a certain time and then the boys go at a certain time. But I'm pretty sure the meet starts at 9 o'clock.
9 a.m.
Yep.
All right. Mr. Mavis? Anything?
Nothing beyond my written report.
Mr. Linder?
Yeah, I've got a few comments. We've had a busy start to the year. I'll start off with that, and I teased Deb Geist about the first annual EMC days. The kids, the students and our faculty really had a blast going over there. It's unusual that we have such resources in the county that we haven't taken advantage of. And it's great that we're doing that, and I think we ought to continue that. That's just part of the flavor of living in this county, that we have such rich natural resources that our students can take advantage of, that enhances our programs. And I'd like to thank George Jenkins for donating the T-shirts for the day. He has Merritt Field and the museum there, and he's a longtime resident of Sullivan County. Other items that I want to bring up, some of them are brand new activities. Some of them are things that have been enhanced and were really successful this year. This year, we coordinated for additional concern counseling services for the district. The district was awarded a PCCD grant that will fund an additional day of psychologist service and provide two days of social work services for the next 2 school years, providing these services at no additional cost. So that's something brand new for our district, to have a social worker here. And that additional school psychologist, that would be what the administration would task that person with. It's currently the same one who works with the special ed department, but there's other things that we would like her to do here in our district on those days. We've established the district-wide positive school-wide behavior program, and I think that's starting off really well. Anecdotally, I think we've had some real successes with that. We're the first district in the northern tier with an emotional support therapy dog, along with our school police officer. You see Montoursville still tossing around armed security, and that's something that we have here in this district. Something we haven't done in a long time, we said that we would realign our testing with our subjects, and we're doing winter keystones. So it's more work on the administration to coordinate that, but it aligns with the coursework that the students taking, so they can be much more successful right at the end. And Mr. Miller has been providing tutoring for those students so they can be assured of success when they take that test at the right time. Our Grandparents' Day, we had 515 visiting participants. That's the largest in years. The elementary participated. We had been approached by the LaPorte Fire Company for their scarecrow contest. So you'll notice here in LaPorte, all the scarecrows around, and that was something that even our art department, well, I guess our tech ed built frames, standard frames, and then that was just another activity for the elementary students to participate in. We had 209 students participate in the homecoming dance. That's much, much larger than we've had in the past. And a shout out to the Booster Club for coordinating the fire and the bonfire and the activities that night. And that whole week with the orientation, the district-wide orientation, which is a first for us. We had a lot of participants. But we also invited community organizations that provide services and activities for students. So they were there for students to sign up on, and hopefully we can grow that so that our local organizations, our parents are aware of what's available to students. Lynn and I last week traveled to Mansfield University. Mansfield University, Lock Haven, and Bloomsburg all combined their administration into one university. It's called Commonwealth University. And we've been invited to participate in a program. We signed an agreement. Our students will have guaranteed admission if they sign by December 15th to attend any of those three universities, as well as guaranteed on-campus housing their freshman year, and up to $28,000 in guaranteed renewable scholarships to attend. So that's something that's just fantastic for our students. It's only available for our students. It's not for cyber students. It's not for homeschoolers. You have to be an active member and an active student in our district in order to participate with that. Of course, we've had much success with our full-time athletic director this year. He's really taken charge, and we've put a lot of emphasis on our venues and our programs, and we've had everything from aeration of our fields to contractors coming in and correcting drainage for our fields. We've looked at video systems for our gym for winter sports. We've looked at uniforms, everything from uniforms to scheduling to additional activity buses. Additionally, last week, we had an ad hoc committee for band uniforms. So we're to the point of getting a sample band uniform. So that's the first time we've talked about that since I think I've worked here.
We won't have them by Christmas, but Christmas next year.
Yeah. And some other programs that are in development, the archery program that will be in school as well as club. The golf program that we were given equipment for, that's an in-school program, as well as we've had some promises of support from the community and Eaglesmere Country Club for our golf program and the cycling program that they were present during the open house. So those are all new and reinvigorated programs that we have this year that just haven't been available before. So it's been a busy start to the year, And we're really hoping community outreach brings a lot of opportunity to our students. So that's all I have this evening.
That's it?
That's it.
And to just add a little bit to that, we also had students volunteer at the Bowhunters Festival and the October Festival, the Fall Festival, just recently. So their community organizations are reaching out, we're connecting them with our organizations, and they're volunteering and serving those community organizations. Which is great.
That's awesome.
And teachers too, and staff members too, from both buildings.
Yeah, and they said, I think, Doug, didn't you say that the turnout for homecoming was like the largest, I don't wanna say ever, but it was,
Since I've been here.
Yeah, I mean, just the enthusiasm we've seen from our student participants and our faculty has been
And the
off
number
the
of
charts this year.
kids staying to help decorate,
Yeah.
like, we had done that for years, we haven't done it for the last couple of years. But the number of kids participating in those activities has gone way up. And I know at different meetings we go to, other schools are talking about the lack of participation they have from their kids. So it's fantastic.
that's awesome.
It has to be someplace that students want to come and participate in, so we have to make it welcoming. We are part of the community, and it's nice to see that the community outreach is we're reaping that reward of those organizations within the community being willing to work with us.
Good deal. Anything else? All right, if nothing else, we will, is there any public input? We'll move to finance. Hal, considering you're multitasking there, one of us can take it if you'd like.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. The Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the following reports: the Treasurer's Report, Cafeteria Fund, Building Fund, and Capital Project Fund. I so move.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. The Finance Committee recommends approval of the following check registers in the October budget summary as presented. Total is $1,788,050.06. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee recommends approval of the following payment requests from MHE: the athletic entrance and the auditorium renovation. The entrance is $646 and the renovation is $273. I so move.
Second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Finance Committee recommends acceptance of the biomass fuel bid from Dwight Lewis Lumber Company to provide 720 delivered tons at a rate of $41 per ton. Specified fuel for a total of $29,520. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Finance Committee recommends approval of the interlocal purchasing system purchasing agreement for the 2022 and 2023 fiscal year. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Finance Committee recommends approval of a 60-month lease with dollar buyout agreements with Leaf Capital Funding for the purchase of server equipment in the amount of $152,792.79 with an annual payment of $35,345.51, with the first payment due 30 days after the delivery of all equipment. I so move.
That'd be 845. 35,845.51.
Oh, did I say something different?
Yeah. 345. I like where your head's at though.
I'm trying to push the contract value down.
I'll second the new amount.
So motion and a second. Any questions? Just a comment. I think we talked about it, but this ultimately is a pretty decent savings for the district in total. Even though it sounds like a massive amount, it's just for public or whoever's listening. I don't want to
Right.
talk out of turn, but it actually, at the end of the day, even though it looks like $150,000 is a lot of money, but it's going to actually save the district over the course of the next 60 months.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to give us a level number for our budgeting for our server equipment when we know that prices are rising right now. And then in addition to that, operationally, we won't be stuck in a situation where we go to order an important piece of equipment in July and are told it's going to be 10 months until it shows up. So I think it's going to be a good project for the district.
Good deal. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Last thing is the Finance Committee recognizes the following organizations for their donations to the SCHS PBIS program: Ataraxia Construction, LaPorte Store, and High Knob Inn. And thanks to those groups for their donations. And unless someone else has something, that's all for finance.
I just wanted to say the auditors, we've started work on last year's funds, and it looks like we're within $4,000 of revenue and expense. So it's a pretty good year. So
Good deal. Mr.
Okay.
Fitzgerald?
Athletics and extracurriculars. A, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from Serena Nachinsky as the varsity wrestling cheerleader coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item B, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends acceptance with regret of a letter of resignation from Tyler Baldwin as the varsity assistant basketball coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Aye.
We're getting your response delayed, Al, so we're working with it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, not your fault.
You gotta speed up a little bit.
We're leaving.
You have to anticipate your answer and say it before you're ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Item C, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends approval of Meredith Lambert as the elementary school reading club advisor, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Item D, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends approval of Megan Bohinski as the high school reading club advisor, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item E, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends the hiring of Katrina Shoemaker as the assistant girls varsity basketball coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item F, administration recommends the hiring of the following coaching staff. Number one, administration recommends the hiring of Dylan Ammerman as the varsity assistant wrestling coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second on F1. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item two, administration recommends the hiring of Jason Evans as the junior high wrestling assistant coach, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
G, the Athletics and Health Committee recommends approval to start the NASP National Archery in school program, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. That was a long time coming. It's good work.
If is there anything else?
I want to bring something up just on athletics and health. It's kind of informational. I didn't really know exactly where to bring it up, but and by no means am I going to pretend to be an expert on the topic, but I went to I guess you could call it a seminar, and saw some people speak recently, a lot of different topics. But there was a woman named Julie Walker who actually spoke on a topic called sudden cardiac arrest. I'm sure you probably know of it or aware of it. I was kind of blown away by some of the statistics. And she started a foundation called the Peyton Walker Foundation, which was her daughter. Her daughter actually passed away in, I think, 2013, don't quote me on that, due to sudden cardiac arrest. And the reason I bring it up is just kind of an informational research.
57 AB. Watch.
Hey, Al. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Got it.
So one thing she was working with, there's a lot of things going on with that Peyton Walker Foundation, but it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to just even research it a little. They had this thing called the 4-Minute City, and
All our coaches take a class on sudden cardiac arrest.
okay,
Yep.
I wasn't sure if it was included or not. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
It's required.
But the 4-minute, I don't know if we can participate in this, and I'm not advocating for anything special, but she went over this thing called the 4-Minute City, and it blew my mind. What it was is, I don't know if the approvals have gone through the healthcare sector yet, but basically you can go and sign up, and they had a couple case studies, and they put AEDs like at baseball fields, little league fields, and the intent is that if there's a call, that their goal is to get an AED within 4 minutes of basically everywhere in the city. And they had a case study where they did like some trial situations where they got one, they put it at a baseball field, and they actually had a mother who actually survived just because there was one available. So anyway, I felt compelled to bring it up, and I wasn't 100% sure whether we did the training or not. But not that it's an emergency situation, but that 4-minute city, if you wanted to just take a peek at that, it's pretty remarkable. And Julie, I've never met her until that day. I think she's out of like Camp Hill, Harrisburg, so she's super local. But it was like a really compelling presentation that she put on. Sort of sad, but happy ending with what they're doing with, taking a really terrible situation and turning it into a positive setting. So anyway, for what it's worth, I didn't know where to bring it up, but I thought I'd bring it up during athletics and health.
Yeah, we have AEDs at both of the gyms, the trainer and in the biomats, as well as and the nurses, as well as Narcan that's distributed around the district. So
Cool.
Yeah, and our AEDs are checked on an annual basis by Mrs. Monero, and that's a a data point that I have to report to the state in July each year as part of our Safe Schools collection. As is mentioned, the sudden cardiac arrest training is required. That's one of the 2 annual required trainings for coaching staff, and they must have that before they can coach a day of official practice. That and the concussion training.
Cool.
So, but yeah, the training that our coaches receive is just a web-based, takes you about 45 minutes to go through it. I imagine actually, seeing someone in person that unfortunately their family had to go through it would be a really compelling event. So,
Yeah.
Additionally, our paraprofessional staff is trained every other year on first aid, CPR, and AED also.
Awesome.
Okay, buildings and grounds. Item A, information. Building and Grounds Committee received use of school facilities request for the following district activities. Number 1, Health and Wellness Committee on January 12th, 2023 in the elementary school cafeteria for health screenings. 2, elementary intramural wrestling from September 26th through October 26th. Item 3, Halloween dance hosted by the sophomore class on October 29th, 2022 in the high school cafeteria. Item 4, open gym softball on October 23rd on the softball field or gym, weather permitting. Item 5, Halloween parade on October 31st in the elementary bus stop loop at 1:30 p.m. or high school auditorium, weather permitting. Item 6, drama club rehearsals from October 4th through March 3rd, intermittently after school from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. in the high school auditorium. Item 7, drama club tech rehearsals and performances from March 6th through to March 11th in the high school auditorium. Item B, the Building and Grounds Committee recommends approval of the use of school facilities request from the community basketball group from October 23rd to April 17th on Sundays, dependent on the availability of the high school gymnasium. Nice or low.
See where you're going.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Curriculum and student activities, please.
Item A, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of an agreement for a therapeutic foster care program with Marikey, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second.
You sure you don't?
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item B, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of new curricula to be presented by Victim Services. The new curricula are Money Habitudes to be presented to 9th graders and Catch My Breath to be presented to grades 5 through 12. And I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions?
Just,
All-
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, just for anyone listening, the Catch My Breath is like a anti-vaping, like awareness sort of thing, in case you weren't listening last week.
Thank you. If no more questions, we'll go to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item C, the Curriculum and Student Activities Committee recommends approval of a proposal for the 2023 prom to be hosted at the Cider Mill at Windswept Farm, Muncie, for a cost of $25 per student with transportation from the high school for those students who require it. And I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any questions? I just had one question that came up. What was our reasoning to have it outside of the county as far as venue?
It's been, last year it was at Fun
Yeah.
Hollow,
Was there any,
just something different.
okay. And that was,
And we used to have it at St. Basil's, and they would charge us like $100 for the use. That's not the case anymore. Prices have gone up, so.
I only asked because I was asked and I said, I don't know, I think it was approved. It's a committee that basically decides, right?
Yep.
Okay. If no questions, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
It's all for curriculum and student activities.
Thank you. And just a note, I saw your note. If anybody has any feedback for Mary in regards to the committee, upcoming committee meetings, please have that to her by the 24th.
Yeah,
Anytime.
Monday at noon, because then I can send it to admin
So
before
what's
we
going on?
do the work session.
Trying to get
Thank you.
red car.
If nothing else, we can move to personnel.
All right. Item A, Personnel Committee recommends the hiring of Stephanie Adams as a music teacher with a starting salary of $69,571. Master's Step 1 to begin on October 19th, 2022. And I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. Questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item B, the Personnel Committee recommends the approval of school teacher mentors. One, Brian Zagady as the mentor for Stephanie Adams. Item 2, Aaron Schultz as the mentor for Danielle Kinsey. And I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
The item C, the Personnel Committee recommends adding Natalie Campbell to the list of approved substitute custodians, and I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Item D, the Personnel Committee recommends approval of a letter of resignation from Arthur Carnes as the technical director, and I so move.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? So he made it a whole day, huh? Sorry, I couldn't help
3
myself.
days. It was 3 days, wasn't
3
it?
days? It's a lot of time. I just have to say, it's hard to find people, but it's a lot of time and energy spent.
It is. It's disappointing, but it's better to find out now than,
Or he waited
Yeah.
several months, then
invest more time.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. That's the good side, I guess.
you gotta look at it.
I mean, he's a talented young man, but it just wasn't for him. So.
Fair enough. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, item E, administration may make a recommendation regarding the appointment of a homebound instructor.
Second?
Wait, I
not
I
a
just,
don't have a name for that. Right now, it's actually instruction in the home, which is a little bit different than our typical homebound instruction. But it's possible that that could come up before the next, meeting, so I don't know if it would be, paying someone for doing that work and then providing the name when I have the name.
Yeah, we've done that with homebound, but this is instruction in the home, which is very similar, except it's not prescribed by, you know,
It's
for
a special
condition.
education placement
Yeah.
that's not prescribed by a doctor.
And then we
but
can
it's a
always
similar-
provide the name on an informational basis after the fact. But it's something that we need to proceed with prior.
Okay, then.
I would,
I'll say, then.
I would suggest that we reword the motion so that it's clear as to what we're doing.
Administration makes a recommendation for,
I can't remember how I said it in my memo. I said, for providing instruction in the home to a student.
there you go. Administration, yeah.
Gabe's writing it down.
Should we, is there a financial guardrails that we need to put in place?
It would be at a per diem rate, or a per diem per hour rate, if you know what I mean.
Shall we say contractual rate?
Yeah. Contract rate.
Okay.
You finished.
You want me to?
Go ahead.
So, the administration makes a recommendation to provide instruction at home for a student at a per diem contractual rate. Are we all right with that?
Sounds okay to me.
Clear enough, and then I guess on the question is that if there's required information that anyone needs, they can contact the district.
Yeah, we'll bring the name of the instructor once assigned.
I so move.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. If there's no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And I think likely we'll have to reword that next one too.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not sure that we even need a motion, we're just going to advertise, which
It
we've
is
already
going
been
to be
given
advertised.
permission to do.
Okay,
And then I'll just communicate with the board, the end date, and then we'll have, interviews at that point.
okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
so then that's it for personnel unless somebody else has something.
Policy and procedure.
I can take that, I guess. Policy and Procedure Committee recommends approval of the following policies. Second read, Policy 903, Public Participation in Board Meetings, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Transportation, administration recommends an addition to the list of parent guardian drivers for student transportation. I don't know if it was there an update as far as what that was necessary?
Yeah, there was a name provided with your packet that went out on Saturday in that email, and it's related to special education
Okay,
placement.
so we're good with this as it states? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me I'll just reread that. Administration recommends an addition to the list of parent guardian drivers for student transportation. I so move.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. If nothing else, we'll move to board reports. Mr. Stockdale, you have anything?
He dropped off the meeting about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Shelley, do you have anything?
I don't have anything tonight, no, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald?
Nope, things been pretty well covered.
Heather?
No, thank you.
Mary Elise?
I'll just say again, the next curriculum work session is November 1st. That's a Tuesday. Usually we do Mondays, both Halloween. I didn't want to make anyone have a late meeting on Halloween, so. It's Tuesday, November 1st, if anyone's interested. And like we said earlier, if board members have questions or things they're hoping for updates on, we're trying to move things through committees, so please send those to me so we can do that at that time.
Awesome. The only thing I have is I thanks to the board members and the committee chairs and members that are going, I would say, outside of just our normal run of committee of the whole. So there's a lot more. I see more activity as a board in those areas. And as Mary Lee stated, from a public perspective, we're really trying to communicate when those are, so that if there's public participation or interest, that that availability also exists. And then lastly, as we said, I know it's hard for the administration to come to 17 meetings a month, so we're also trying to balance that act of trying to do these things without asking the principals and the administration to come to every single solitary meeting. So a lot of that conversation, whatever we come up with, if you're not included or for some reason you're not able to make it, we'll try to communicate that back. Because for me personally, as in all the board members, it's impossible to, I think Joe's the only one that makes it possible. He shows up to every one of them, but outside of that, it's hard to make all the meetings.
It's not always easy.
Any public input outside of early on?
Nope.
If nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried. Next meeting is the 15th, regular meeting, and committees are on the 7th.
And that's a Monday, because elections are on
Yeah,
the
good
8th,
point.
so that is a Monday night for committees in November.
Good deal. Thank you.
So I think that university